After 40 years of business operations in Nigeria, Cutix PLC, maker of cable wires, has continued to demonstrate its commitment to investors and shareholders alike with an operating model that is focused on delivering value to the Nigerian market and consumers alike. Well, according to the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of the company, Joma Odwonye, while interacting with investors at the floor of the Nigerian Exchange Limited recently in Lagos, she said Cutix over the years has proven to be the best kept secret stock of the Nigerian stock market and the must have in every investment portfolio because of its remarkable performance and returns to its shareholders over the years. Now, she added that the company in the last 35 years has been able to make returns on investment of about 185,000%, making investors smile home. Now, for further analysis, Cutix PLC Chief Executive Officer joins us virtually now from in Nnewi-based headquarters in Anambra State. Thank you for joining us, madam. We appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me here.
Okay. Yeah. Talk to us. 40 years in business of cable and more than 3 decades of making investors smile since the company went public. Now, talk to us about Cutix' journey. How has it been so far?
Okay, so 40 years, it's been, I would say it's been successful all through because for every year counting, we've really met and surpassed our annual targets, both in revenue and profit projections. And like you already said, we have consistently given returns fairly to all the stakeholders of the company. The shareholders, the government, the staff, the banks, all the stakeholders. We've been consistent all these years.
Now, amid rising inflation, for instance, you made about 7-point-something billion in the financial year, 7.9 billion in the 2022 financial year, with about 5.1 billion naira of assets. That's about 16.6% increase from about 6% previously. Now, all of this happened amidst the economic challenges that businesses, face in Nigeria, the rising inflation, cost of energy, and exchange rate. Talk to us. What is responsible for this impressive gain?
Okay, I will say that when the going becomes tough, the tough gets going. So, for us in Cutix here, the inflation really took its toll. We ordinarily should have done better than the figures you're seeing here, but we were able to do the much we did because of our insistence on quality products, because though the economy is like turbulent, people that really want good products go for them. So that has kept us going. We have refused to lower the bar or change the goalpost when it comes to the quality of our products. And that has kept us going because people still come back to buy because they get satisfaction from the ones they buy, okay? So that has really been the bedrock of the company, quality and nothing else.
I mean, your core business, I need you to talk to us about your core business now, which is, of course, the business of cable with respect to the company's revenue. What are the major product driving sales and the revenue, especially your financials in the 2022 year?
Okay, so Cutix is basically into the production and sale of cables and wires. We draw more on power cables. These are the armored cables you have of different sizes, and we have the house wiring cables of different sizes too, and then we have the service cables. So our business for the period under review is chiefly cables and wires, armored cables, house wiring cables, and service cables. These are the 3 products, 3 different product groups that brought us to where we are today.
Okay, interesting. I mean, there's no business without its challenges. Most businesses have been hit badly by the rising inflation, talk about the exchange rate crisis and the cost of energy and other structural problems. How have this impacted on your operations and revenue over the years, especially in the last 2 years that inflation has been rising consistently?
I tell you honestly, the company is not insulated from the adverse effect of inflation. We had our own share of the challenges coming from inflation. So the experience is you buy your materials, you sell, and you're jumping up, oh, I've made wonderful sale. And going back to replenish your stock, you find out, wow, you have to source more money to be able to replenish same quantity of raw material. That's exactly what we experienced. So it really affected our performance. Like I said, those 7.9 we posted for the last financial year, we should have done better given our efficiency. Okay, we should have done better, but for the inflation, so it really affected our figures adversely.
But in your own opinion, what are some of the causes of these challenges, especially facing business? When you look at the cost of energy, for instance, and for instance, diesel has gone from about from 300 to around 800 naira. You can also perhaps give us a picture of how you're coping with that.
It impacts your cost negatively. You get? So forex is an issue. Another issue that is really bedeviling the cable industry is the influx of substandard products, substandard cables and wires into this country. The cable market in Nigeria is, I would say, up to 50% of that market is controlled by substandard product, and it's not good for us, both as manufacturers and for the citizens that buy this product, because when we begin to get consistent power supply, you see a number of projects will go up, a number of buildings will go up in flame because of the substandard cables that were used in wiring them. So this area is an issue that needs to be looked into. Okay, another issue we're looking at is the government. Like my company, Cutix, we pay our taxes to the different government levels of government. So we want to see these governments put their money where their mouth is by patronizing us. We want them to patronize locally manufactured products, provided they meet the required standard. And when you talk of Cutix, standard is the tripod on which this company stands, quality products, I say. So there's no reason why my government, the government of this country, at any level, state, federal, will go to import a product that we can produce. It's discouraging. You understand? So it's an area I will need the government to really pay attention to, patronize your own, believe in your own. We need to be an export-based economy. It will go a long way to solve a number of problems the country is facing now. But the experiences, you see government projects being wired by imported products, and the question is why? Okay, so power also is an issue. We operate in Anambra State, like you already know. Yeah.
Now, I wanted to ask, how well are you engaging the government on this, but perhaps the sector where you place, engaging the government on this particular conversation? And on the other side of it is that who is responsible, because you talked about the fact that the sector, the industry is so flooded with fake or substandard cable products in the country. So I want to ask you, who is responsible, which agency is responsible? Because I know Standard Organization of Nigeria, it's one. Perhaps, I don't know if they have oversight or control on the players in the electricity sector, but maybe you can talk to us about it.
Yeah, so the Cable Manufacturers Association of Nigeria as a body has been talking and is still talking with the relevant government agency on this. We are also partnering with the Standard Organization of Nigeria to look at what is really happening. So about 2 months or thereabout, Sun wants a really large quantity of substandard products. They were over there in the news everywhere. My concern is those ones were born because they were seen, but there are a number of them that are already in the market. So I want this problem to be treated by we nipping it at the bud, making sure they don't even come in the first place. Do you understand? But I will give it to some. Now more than ever before, they are paying attention to this issue of substandard products. Okay, so Kaman is working with Sun on it, and we are looking forward to having a saner market in no distant time.
Okay. Now, what does the future hold for Cutix PLC in the energy value chain, given that the power sector is evolving?
The energy transition is the business for the day, because we want eco-friendly businesses. So when it comes to power provision, Cutix as a company has really narrowed down on the solar energy space, like geothermal energy power and all others are there.
We've seen some other sectors or industry transition into a very minute industry to a very viable one. For instance, the communication industry is there, where a lot of industry players now. You have that a lot of players in that particular sector now, which has opened up that sector for marketability and a competitive market, and then accommodating other players. So at the value chain, level in that sector. But then, what exactly is happening in this power sector now? That's another conversation now. Talk to us if you're there. Well, I didn't plan to end this conversation in this manner. Perhaps we'll quickly take a break and then give a 1 minute, come back to give 1 minute to Ijeoma Odonye, CEO Cutix PLC, talking to us the happenings in the industry, and of course how far her own particular firm has fared in this particular sector, with many challenges bedeviling players in the industry. I'm sure you are there now. Okay, let's quickly take a break, and when we return, of course, our conversation continues from there. Please stay with us. All right, let's get to wrap up the conversation now. Talk to us now, Mrs. We've been speaking to Ijeoma Odonye, CEO Cutix PLC, who have been talking to us about the journey so far in the last 40 years of operation for Cutix PLC, and of course the fact behind the figures of the 2022 financial report. Well, talk to us now. What does the future hold for Cutix as we wrap up now?
Yes, very bright, I must say. The company just acquired a sister company at Swiss PLC that is also in the energy space. They produce feeder pillars, Swiss panels, changeover Swiss, sumo pumps, and distribution boards. It's a big business for us, if you ask me. With also the introduction of a number of new products, we want to increase our SKDs with new products. We're going into the production of HFFR, that is flame retardant cables. It's not very common in the cable market here. Cutix is strategizing. We already have the machines, the capability. So by next year, they are part of the products that will be rolling into the market. So we look forward to a very bright and successful business years ahead. Also, as a company, we also want the government to help us. We know we can do better if we can access cheaper funds from the government. And like I said before, government patronage shouldn't elude any local manufacturer in Nigeria.
Right.
So for us, we are happy and we're very optimistic. We keep flying, we keep soaring higher. 40 years gone, we see ourselves coming back to tell the public our story the next decade.
Okay, and I want to congratulate you and wish you all the best. I hope by the time you get to roll out those products, Ibrandtv will be the first platform to know. Thank you so much for your time on Business Breakfast.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye.
Ijeoma Odonye, CEO Cutix PLC. Have a great day ahead.
Thank you. Same to you.
Yeah. You've been watching Business Breakfast coming to you live from our studio. Still to come. After the break, Nigeria's oil output was at the lowest since 1990 as the crude oil production fell below 1 million barrels per day in August 2022. Well, this is our focus when we return from this commercial break. Please stay with us.